Why, hello there, everybody. How are you doing today? It's me again. And, well, I'm here to give you another update. And, well, once again, my phone has still not gone one ringy-dingy. Yet. And again, why do I say yet? Because I know what the law says. And I am not trying to force another person to do something that they do not want to do. I do not have the authority. I do not have the authority to enforce the law. Therefore, I'm not going to take matters into my own hands. I have the authority to hold the authorities accountable for what they do, for enforcing the law. So that's what I'm going to do. Look at that. Light bulbs going on. And if said authority refuses to enforce the law when they know that the law has been violated, if said authority refuses basically just to do their job, then, again, it's time for real law enforcement, real authorities, to remove those fakes and frauds and counterfeits, otherwise known as criminals. No, I'm not going to take matters in my own hands because I know I have everything on my side. See, the criminal takes matters into his own hands. That's why they're a criminal. The law is in place. I've said this before many times. I'm just going to say it again real quick. The law is in place to ensure that no one, irregardless of stature or status or title, comes in and forces a law-abiding citizen to do something that they do not want to do. That's what criminals do. One more time. The law is in place to ensure that no one forces any law-abiding citizen to do something that they do not want to do. You have a choice. Criminals have no choice. The law is in place to remove the criminals. The criminals are the threats. Without accountability, this is what you get in your country. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, are you looking for are you holding yourself accountable, or are you looking for an excuse why you shouldn't do something? Well, they're never going to do anything about it. Well, their actions have absolutely no effect on you. Are you a law-abiding citizen? Well, then it doesn't really matter what Billy Bob is thinking. It doesn't matter what Billy Bob says. It doesn't matter what Susie Q thinks. It doesn't matter what they say. You, look at it, light bulbs, you are the only one that can choose what you are going to do. No one can make you. No one can, again, they cannot put up a law to tell you it's against the law for you to freely choose, because by design, by Almighty God's design, you are a free will creature. Even Almighty God doesn't force anyone to do anything that they do not want to do, any human being, while they're alive here on earth. So again, are you looking for solutions, or are you looking for excuses as to why you shouldn't do something? The solution is hold yourself accountable. The authorities, all authorities, are supposed to bring solutions, resolutions, resolve problems, not supposed to create them. the way they stay in power is they create problems. They refuse to hold somebody else accountable simply so that they are never held accountable. So they create all kind of problems, little bitty problems that you, me, we, law-abiding citizens have to deal with when they're not in there to create problems. See, right now, what's going through your mind is everything that's going on in Washington. You know exactly what's what. They're there to bring order, not cause disorder. And by not doing their jobs, that's what they're doing. They're causing disorder, deliberately, intentionally. They are a threat. A law enforcement officer who refuses to enforce the law is a law enforcement officer in name only. He's a fake, he's a fraud, he's a counterfeit. Any authority, no matter what their title is, any authority who refuses to fulfill that office's responsibilities, whether it be as an attorney, as a judge, as a senator, as a congressman, as a president, as a mayor, as a city council man or woman, it doesn't matter. As soon as they refuse to fulfill their duties as of that office, they instantly stop being that office, and they are now a threat. They are a fake and fraud and counterfeit, and they should be removed. Me, I'm going to stand right here because I'm trusting in the law because I know who has established the law. I am holding myself accountable. Thereby, the only thing it takes, the only thing needed for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking to remove threats, to remove obstacles. And I'm trusting the law because I know the one who has established the law, and the law has been established in the United States of America by Almighty God. So says our founding documents. So says the law itself. So the only question that remains now is, what are you going to do? Are you going to look for solutions? Are you going to stand and are you going to first hold yourself accountable? If you refuse to hold yourself accountable, then you will never, ever, 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 nor can you ever, ever, ever hold another accountable. Period. We have a lack of accountability in this country. That's the biggest problem in this country, is a lack of accountability. Period. Lack of self-accountability. Because without accountability, you're not willing to take responsibility. And that's exactly that. No one wants to be held responsible or accountable. Well, I got news for you. Time is on the person who holds themselves accountable side, otherwise known as the truth side, otherwise known as the law side. Time is on my side. The longer that I stand here and hold myself accountable, demanding that others be held accountable, not be forced to do something that they do not want to do, but be held accountable for what they've done. Explain their actions. The longer that I stand here and demand that, the more of you all see, the more of you all will see that absolutely nothing happens to me. Because I'm not trying to make somebody do, I'm trying to bring solutions, and that will embolden you. That has emboldened a lot of you all. Good. Stand. And first, hold yourself accountable. Second, then demand that those in positions of authority be held accountable for what they have done. And then when we find that they have used their position, that they are not worthy, they are unaccountable for their actions, they cannot account for their actions, then they are fake and a fraud and a counterfeit, and they must be removed. So says the law. It's that simple. Uphold and apply the law. This is over and done with, folks. Over and done with. The only thing, time is on my side. Time is on the truth side. Again, I'm in no rush. The longer it takes them, they have to explain why they have not. Who's they? Well, the criminals that I've been reporting their criminal actions to. The supposed authorities that refuse to uphold and enforce the law. They need to explain what took them so long. They need to explain why they did what they did, because last thing, any authority must, in order for any authority to take any action, a couple of things need to take place. One, the action must be part of their official office, of their office jurisdiction, their responsibilities. A judge can't tell the president what to do. They must be operating within their own jurisdiction. Second, the action that they do must be a legal, lawful action. Third, there must be a legal, lawful reason for that legal, lawful action to take place. Period. Otherwise, they're violating their authority. They're overstepping. They are violating the law. They are becoming a fake and a fraud and a counterfeit, and they should be removed. Period. Period. So again, in order for any authority to do any kind of action, basically three things. One, the action that they take can only happen within their jurisdiction, within their realm of authority. Two, there must be a legal, lawful, the action that they take must be legal and lawful, and that is determined by whatever title that they have. A police officer cannot find you guilty of a crime and sentence you to prison because, well, they're not a judge. Okay? And then third, the legal law, the action that authority must, the action that authority takes, there must be a legal, lawful reason for that action to be done. In other words, they just can't walk up to you. A judge cannot find you guilty of a crime that there is no record of anyone ever committing. That's why my situation is over and done with. So, what's the solution? The solution is stand. The solution is stand and demand that our laws be upheld and enforced. That's the solution. This is over and done with, folks. The quicker that you start looking for solutions and stop looking for excuses, the quicker we will get everything. The quicker we will get everything. The quicker that accountability will take place. Period. Let me say that again. The sooner that you start looking for solutions and stop looking for excuses why you shouldn't do something, the quicker, that's called accountability, that's called holding yourself accountable, and that's holding others accountable. It's called upholding the law. It's called enforcing the law. The quicker you start looking for solutions instead of stop looking for excuses as to why you shouldn't, why you can't, why you won't, that's an excuse. Doesn't get rid of the problem. The quicker you start holding yourself accountable, the quicker you will be more than willing to hold, the sooner, should I say, you will be willing to hold others accountable. You will demand that those who have taken an oath be held accountable, should I say. No, this is over and done with. Because I'm holding myself accountable first and foremost. And all I'm doing in my situation is I'm reporting crimes, and I am demanding that the authorities hold themselves accountable and uphold and enforce the law. That's all I'm doing. Over and done with. So says the law, because so says the word of Almighty God, because so says Almighty God. Just saying.